Hey everyone, this video is going to talk a little bit more about input, output, and processing. We're just going to do a program or two that demonstrates, again, getting users input, doing some math processes to it, and then giving them output. So in this first program, I'm going to ask the user for the length and the width of a rectangle or square, whichever, and I'm going to give them the area of this rectangle. So this time there'll be two inputs. We'll have one math process, and then we'll have an output that tells them the area. So the first thing we need to do is create our two variables and get input from the user on them. So the first variable, since we're getting length and width, because that length times width gives you the area, I'm going to say length is equal to the integer input, and my prompt is going to be enter the length of the rectangle. Then my next variable is going to be width, and that is going to be equal to integer input, enter the width of the rectangle. Alright, so now they're going to give me the length and the width. I'm going to give them the area by multiplying length times width. So my third variable will be area, and I'm going to set that equal to length times width. So then all I have to do is give them output that tells them the area of this rectangle. So I will have a print statement or print function that says the area of the rectangle is, and then I'll use my separator, the comma is the separator. The area of the rectangle is area. And then I'll close out my print function. So when I save this and run it, it will ask me first for the length, then it'll ask me for the width, and then it'll tell me what the area is. So I'm saving it right now. Once that finishes, it'll pop up over here. Here we go. So we'll enter the length of the rectangle. It doesn't matter. You can put in any numbers. I'm going to say the length is 12 and the width is 5. Multiplies those two together, gives me 60. And 5 times 12 is in fact 60, so we know the math works. Alright, so let's say that let's say we want to get the area of a circle. Another simple one. We'll only have one input this time. We'll just need the radius from the user. So our radius will equal the integer input. And I'm just using integers. It'd probably be a wise idea to use floats, because your lengths and your widths and your radiuses are not always going to come out to be a perfect integer. So let's change this to a float. Input would be, our prompt is going to be to enter the radius of the circle. Oops, I forgot to close the second function out. That will always give you problems if you do that. So we're going to ask the user, they're going to give us the radius of the circle. We're going to come up with the area, in the equation for area of a circle is pi times radius squared, or pi times radius. So pi, we're just going to round that to 3.14. Makes it easier for us to remember. Multiply that times the radius times the radius. And then we'll just have another output print function that says the area of the circle is. separate it with a comma and put in area, and we'll again save it. And run it over here in our shell. So let's say the radius is 12, then the area of the circle is 452.15, and then a bunch of nines. Not really worried about you formatting these. You can if you want to. The format, how to format everything, is in the book in chapter 2, under the Python section of chapter 2. But I do not require you to format them and round them to 2 digits or 3 digits or anything like that. So if you were to turn in something and it spit out all these numbers after the decimal, I would accept it. It's completely fine. So again, this is just another basic input, processes and output video. In the next video, I'm going to do a little bit more with the if and the else, the decision-making structures. And I'll go into more detail with that. Again, that will also use input, output, and processing though.